Now, this is a name that I haven't seen too often in professional StarCraft 2 over the last, well, really the last couple of years. Spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner, playing with the red Terran SCVs. We have one of the Terran players who's been extremely good at the game for a long time, but we just rarely see him participate in anything. We have Bunny. His opponent, though, down in the bottom right, representing himself on the main hatchery. You know him, you love him. We have Dark. Okay. Now, I haven't seen Bunny play much. And I was wondering, what does he currently do? How does he approach the game? Well then, apparently this is what we do. We build barracks on the other side of the map. Excellent strategy. Very powerful build. I wanted to hype up Bunny for a little bit because he's actually such a good player. At least historically, he's had moments where he's just looked incredible. This is the type of build, though, that I could teach my mom in about 30 minutes, and she has never played an RTS game before. I'm pretty sure she could execute this with like 98%, you know, effectiveness. After, okay, maybe it takes a little bit longer, but anybody can do this build with just the smallest amount of practice. So we're starting off this series with a bit of cheese. Now, problem is, will Dark see it in time? This commentator can only guess. Don't tell me this works. Don't tell me that Dark moved the Overlord. He could have seen this so easily. In the meantime, he's doing his gasless triple hatch opener. It means that he does not have any Zergling speed here anytime soon, and he is gonna get bunker rushed. Now, I almost wonder if you should cancel this hatch now and spend those resources on additional queens instead. Keep in mind that queens are now, well, 175 minerals, so this sort of aggression is a little bit more dangerous. Apparently, we're just sending the drones to fight, and so far, the engagement is good. One Marine will definitely die. The other Marine's also in a world of trouble. He's trying to target fire down the low HP workers, and that has been some good point and click from Bunny, who's now sending additional Marines around the site. A couple Zerglings also out, obviously no link speed anytime soon. SCV's trying to stay alive as well, and it's 7 or 8 drones for now. 3 SCVs have gone down as well. Bunker goes down. This is not the end of the world for Dark. Very good crisis management, but both players have got, well, the tiniest economy at this point in time. Nice control on the Marines, though. Yep. Jimmy gets brought all the way back. Obviously, Marines do not regen. Only when there's a medevac nearby, so even just bruising them a little bit like that is still extremely nice. Usually, the way you defend this as Zerg is with metabolic boost finishing. Oh, Bunny's just pulling the rest of the boys, too. This... He's got, yeah, just a handful of SCVs and a mule mining at home. We're going all in. Like, we were already all in, but now we're even more all in, you know? Like, we've lost the first all in, and now we've decided, you know what? I don't need a place to live. I will just gamble the house. Well, let's see. There's a spine crawler, but it's only about maybe 66% of the way done. Drones pulled away from the mineral line again. Queen in the front as well to tank some of the damage, and this is looking pretty good for Dark. Keep in mind that losing SCVs here, well, means that you can also lose more drones. Spinecrawler is going to be amazing. That's still a lot of Marines left over, though. Zerglings are just about to pop out. Dark target firing down with the spine. Couple of the Zerglings coming around the back. We have only a mule mining now at home because even more SCVs have shown up. I don't like this for Bunny. Bunny now literally at 0 workers. Dark has got only 7 drones, which is much less than he started the game off with, but it's still substantially more than what Bunny can produce. That being said, mules are good. Income-wise, I mean, this shouldn't be recoverable for Bunny. Bunny's actually gonna end up with 0 supply very soon. Nah, this is game over, Bunny. Now we're just coping. There's no way. We have 0 workers. Bunny, we can't win this. This is not a winnable match. Love this, by the way, from Dark. He knows that this game is not winnable. He doesn't know, obviously, how many workers there are from the opponent, but that seemed extremely desperate. So sending a handful of Zerglings towards the other side of the map, very good choice. Mules do not have an attack, so Mules do not have an attack animation. Bunny scans the main base, he sees the worker count, and he knows that he cannot fight against 7 entire workers. That's way too many. Next up, we go to Amy Gadala. No barracks building on the other side of the map this time around. Dark did decide to go for a fast gas geyser this time, because turns out having metabolic boost early does keep you safe against very cheesy Terrans. Okay. Well, at the very least, we do get to have a little bit of an update as to where Bunny is currently at. Third hatchery. Ooh, he's going to attempt planting it down over here, but good interception by Bunny. I was actually really happy to see the micro from Bunny in the previous game. Let me have a little look here on Ultralisks real quick, which is a statistics website for StarCraft 2. It basically keeps track of all of the games that are being played. So Bunny is still, as far as I'm aware at the very least, a full-time StarCraft 2 player. Like, he still plays a lot. He's just kind of doing that thing that, like, for example, Maru and Serral do, where he's not playing in a whole lot. According to Ultralisks, he's currently the rank 21 in the world. So as long as you play, like, one tournament game every 3 months or so, you won't be removed out of the rankings. It's just that there's a very, very small sample size. Bunny's very much so somebody who likes to play offline events more than online, it seems. So I would imagine that that may be one of the reasons. Not a whole lot of offline events happening at this point in time. Gets 2 SCVs, not bad. Third CC, though, is coming up. Command Center on the low ground did finish, too. So at least we should see some double muling, and that's going to make this game a whole lot more manageable. But not a great start here for Bunny. Yeah. Not a great start at all. And this is, of course, also one of those spots, right? And I feel like playing this style against Dark in particular is so risky, because Dark loves wrestling. Like, he is a big fan of playing these down and dirty games. Dark never really plays a normal build as it is. So when he gets to have a game that looks a little bit wild, he's very good at that crisp decision making. I actually think he's better than Serral when it comes to thinking on the fly. Serral is extremely mechanical, so extremely good at just knowing what to do in the right situation and executing it ridiculously fast. But I think Dark is somebody who's very strong at just thinking about what needs to be happening next. And that sounds like that's basically the strategy part of playing a strategy game. StarCraft 2 is certainly a strategy game, but a lot of it comes down to who has better mechanics than the other guy. I think as far as strategy gaming goes, Dark has to be one of the absolute best in the world. Generally speaking, I would say the European top-level players, not just Serral, also, for example, Clem, also, for example, MaxPex, they don't really strike me as, like, the best players in the world, strategically speaking. They're just very good at grinding games and then figuring out what needs to be done by just having a stupid amount of game knowledge and, well, a lot of practice as well. Dark's always just kind of winging it. So already we have a super quick 4th hatch. Feels a bit weird to have this hatchery down already. Way too early in a regular game of StarCraft, but Bunny is not really going to be able to do that much about it. Obviously, Stimpack is not going to finish up anytime soon. Maybe he's going to begin it right now. There we go. But he is going to be able to get away with this pretty easily. Normally, this would be... So, most of the Zerg builds, the reason why I'm saying it's early, most of the Zerg builds rely on larva being at 0. So, pretty much all the builds come down to, are my larva at 0? If yes, I can expend. If no, spend larva first. So making, like, he's gonna have a lot of idle workers here sitting all the time. That hatchery feels a little out of whack, and his entire build feels a little out of whack, but Dark likes doing this sort of thing. Drones are forced to run away, though, and we're already knocking down the rocks over at the golden minerals, too. Hellions in the meantime. Ooh, okay, this could be really nice for Bunny. Coming around the side. Okay, not quite getting the job done. There is an overseer, so that'll be the end of the Banshee. Queen's over here up north. Doing okay. We have a transfusion available. Spore Crawler here for detection too. Queen goes down though. Nice targeting by Bunny. Zerglings do decide to commit, but obviously it's dangerous. Another Queen does fall to the Banshee. Nice surround though on most of the Hellions. And that's going to allow Dark to continue droning now. Although, I say that, Stimpec is now just a few seconds away from finishing. Medevac production, though, was delayed. And that means that there is actually no easy way for Bunny to get across the map. So Dark's going to be able to get away with any droning that he wants to do. Now, he is actually prepping links because he knows that there is a chance that we are going to see 2 Medevacs arrive right about right now. Not the case, though. Baneling speed, +1/+1, Hydralisk den. We are playing Hydraling Bane. Maybe into Lurkers eventually. Okay. Now, Bunny has secured his third base. Now we're really settling into a proper macro game. Dark already building an expansion down here at the bottom of the map too. I don't believe he's going to be taking this one just yet because it would be very early for a 5th hatch already. Or a 6th hatch, rather, already. He's probably going to be treating this expansion at the bottom mostly as a macro hatchery for now. Yeah, while building up to an infestation pit, going into Hive, building a lurker den, and then running around with Hydraling Bane into good old Lurkerling Bane. Okay. Now, this is a good army, though, for Terran, and Bunny is indeed going to be able to find a hatchery completely unprotected. This is the downside of building your macro hatcheries out on the map. Hydras are coming now, but this is always a great position for Terran, right? If you can get your siege tanks in a nice spot, it's always very powerful, although this is also a bit of a dangerous decision, though, by Bunny, because he doesn't know how much Zerg there truly is out there. He feels like he needs to get something done with this. If you can get the base, that would be amazing. There's still a lot of links, though, all around. He's still also working on some rocks up here, too, so Dark not really pulling the trigger on any committed base defense just yet. He's not even using his entire army, just using the queens right over here to soak some of the siege tank shots, using the links to go onto the siege tanks, and then the banelings, yep, to roll after whatever they can hit. And while the rock Zerglings were pulled away for a little bit, they weren't even a necessity. He could have just kept them over there. But still not a bad attack by Bunny, though. He slowed down the Zerg quite a bit. The queens obviously weren't injecting. He killed a hatchery. And ultimately, it cost him like 2 siege tanks and a few marines. 2-2 has begun. Same for the Zerg. Hive coming up right now. And we do have our 6th, 7th, and 8th barracks coming up. That is, generally speaking, the amount of wrecks that Terrans will be sitting on for the remainder of the game. This is 8 wrecks, though, after 4 CC, meaning that we do just have a big macro game. This is not like a triple base all-in or anything along those lines here for Bunny. He's going to be able to power out as many workers as he wants, and we should see a Ghost Academy coming up as well. If we don't have one already, no, we don't. We should see a Ghost Academy here in the near future. He doesn't know exactly what the Hive timing is going to be like, so he doesn't know if there's already a potential for Vipers, for example. But if suddenly Zerg appears with a whole lot of Lurkers, that would be a problem, although we don't even have a Lurker den yet. Oh, Dark's actually not going Lurkers. Are we going Ultras? Oh, no. Maybe. I mean, it's basically Ling Bane. We're just doing Ling Bane for now. He's got a Hydra den, and he is making a few of them, but it's really just Hydra Ling Bane for now, with no real late game transition coming up just yet. Golden minerals are nice, but they can be attacked here as well from the back, and that's exactly why these Hydras are here. This is basically just full Ling Bane. Yeah, we're just doing Ling Bane with a couple of Hydras, maybe a few Vipers, maybe Adrenal Glands or something. But normally, we do see a full Lurker transition at this point in time. Now, the Banelings aren't yet done. Some easy pop-ins. We do have some transfusions that are needed as well over at the 3rd base. As the Marines were trying to be a nuisance. Medevac. Ooh. Okay, put on idle. That is going to go down. In the meantime, though, just like we saw the Hydras attacking on the other side of the golden mineral line, we now also see the Terran player do it over here. Base has already been evacuated. Really? We're gonna go for the nanomuscular swell research, as Dark is essentially just skipping late game. He's just getting late game for the upgrades. Like, he's just going Hive to be able to get the upgrades going. But, yeah, I guess Vipers are a tier 3 unit. But no Ultras, no Brute Lords, no Lurkers. Most surprisingly. Bunny though also not going into Ghosts. Just going pure Marine Marauder Medevac Siege Tank. And so far, these engagements are really nice for him. If we look at the resources lost, you can tell here that Zerg is going to start, well, raking in a lot more losses. He's got a bit more economy, but really not that much. I'm a bit surprised to see Dark playing pure Ling Bane off of just 70-something SC, or, well, Zerg SCVs. Reinforcing Terran units are now here, though, and they're going to be able to get rid of those Zerglings, although the Lings did split off from the rest. Go after the SCVs over there. I think running them away is indeed the right call. Bunny, though, not too scared. He decides to just continue fighting over here. Can we get a scanny? We do need a scan. Oh, geez. He's fighting on creep. Very risky. Finishes off the hatchery. The Zerglings, in the meantime, okay, are forcing this base to be evacuated temporarily, but they will get back in. There's finally a scan going down. And this is once more going to be an extremely chaotic match now. Both players have been knocked down. Neither has an amazing economy. Neither of them has great tech. Just scanning here to confirm that indeed there are no hidden Lings anymore anywhere. 3-3, by the way, has started for Bunny. We only have a single Evo chamber researching for Dark. He does have a second Evo, but he hasn't actually started up the +3 melee, which I think would be a very useful upgrade at this point. Because soon Bunny is going to have a really nice advantage. He's already got a supply lead. Let's see. Ling Bane, once more set up. Dark is starting to fish for some big Baneling roll-bys. Maybe going after the SCV line is not a bad idea. But he's going to have to address his army at some point. And look at this setup from Bunny. Absolutely monstrous. How in the world do you kill this? Oh my god, well, apparently we're going to try and fight it over here. I'm not so sure that that is a possibility. Maybe harpooning a couple of those siege tanks into the Hydra Ling Bane is good. In the meantime, by the way, those Zerglings and Banelings got 18 SCV kills. Bunny was so busy looking at the fight at the front, just like me, that he wasn't paying attention to his mineral line, and that is actually where, well, Dark did a lot more damage. Now he's also going into the Lurker Den. This expansion is going to be evacuated on out of there. This base on the left will be remade. SCVs from the main base, from the Netro, have been cycled on over towards this base. Dark's so dangerous in these setups. I think he needed the Lurker Den a little while ago, though. Yeah, fully upgraded Lings don't mess around. A lot of low, over-stimped Marines. Okay, Lurker Den is finally done here for Dark. Keep in mind that this with this kind of command center setup, you don't have that many scans. So Bunny can't easily scan repeatedly. Not against Lurkers anyway. Love this little Hydra run by. And even though there's a gigantic Terran army set out right outside of his bases, Dark is not really trying to defend against that sort of thing. No, he's just using it as an opportunity to once more strike at this mineral line, and this is becoming painful. Not that long ago, Bunny was substantially ahead in that department. Now he's only sitting at 36 drones. That's not a whole lot. I think Lurkers are going to be extremely effective. A swarm host. That's what we need. That's a misclick. There's no way he meant to make one of those. Anyways, new command center has been produced. This Nexus, I've been calling drones SCVs, SCVs drones. Now the command center is a Nexus. Let me call the Marauders Immortals. I'll have all of the different colors covered here. We have all of the different options. Alright, let's see. Zergling run by once more, though, putting in so much work. A round of drones is falling on the other side of the map. Okay. Orbital command is nice, but yeah, just one Lurker here is already a massive pain in the butt. He just doesn't have scans. Nope, he just selected his orbitals, couldn't actually use it. We can continue abducting, we can continue parabombing, but there's really no way for Bunny to now go and win with this attack of his. Like, the original plan was to win with this push. Dark looked at it, he's like, that's a very slow attack. I can literally build Lurkers with upgrades by the time you finally arrive near my natural. And that's exactly what he did, using the dash ability to try and close the distance to that siege tank. Those counterattacks were very effective by Dark. And it's now forced this game to be even stranger than it already was. Still though, only 24 SCVs for Terran, only 45 drones for Zerg. I like Dark's unit composition here way more. I think Bunny should go into the main base, or at least try to prevent that lurker den from finishing, because it's now researching the burrow speed improvement too. Okay, he recognizes that he just cannot hold on, and that means the Dark obtains a victory 2-0. One more? Okay, let's do one more series. Another ZVT. This time around, though, I mean, we want more of Dark, but his opponent is another Terran who goes by the name of Cure. Okay. Okay, I liked what Bunny was doing. Interestingly enough, by the way, we go back-to-back Amygdala. This is a separate best of 3. Although it was played on the same day. So I wonder if that means that Dark is once more going to be playing Ling Bane into a bunch of Hydras, but also Ling Bane. And then he eventually realized he needed some sort of lurkers. Honestly, a cool strat by Dark. The fact that he saw that attack from Bunny coming in, and he decided to go for a lurker then, it seemed so late. It seemed like that should never work, but then he still managed to get the job done. Just took a little while until the entire, the entire building was done, and then all of the researches were finished too. But in that duration, right, like we had Bunny sieged up over here. He moved until about this point. The lurker den built, the upgrades were researched, and he had only moved about that far because of Dark's relentless counterattacking. You love to see it. Okay, now Cure obviously does play this game a little bit differently. Across the board, though, Terran is played relatively similarly to each other. I mean, we do have some stylistic changes. Players like, for example, Clem, for example, Bjorn, very micro-focused. Especially Bjorn these days, again. Bjorn extremely micro-focused, to the point where it gets a little bit silly. I would say that Cure is not really that type of guy. I don't think anybody would really consider Cure to have, like, the very best micro on the planet, but he's still very good at it. So let's see. What can we do here? Dark so far, identical strat to what we saw in the previous game on Amygdala. Cure, well, I mean, it's still early. Just going into the Reaper build, and we should be seeing a factory here momentarily. Still getting the safety Marine here, just to make sure that he doesn't take any early game losses if this would be a quick Zergling opener from Dark. Not the case, but he doesn't know because he did not scout with a single SCV. This map does have these weird corners. In some of the areas where the Reapers make little jumps, the Zerglings make little jumps. There's another one right over here. Never been fixed on Amygdala. That's a nice little quirk. Okay. So, let the dancing begin. Got a Zergling. Nice dance. Yeah, fun fact, Terran players always wear their dancing shoes. They take their lives very seriously. It's like being a clown, you know? You're a clown 24/7. Or if you're like a lifeguard, you gotta wear your whistle 24/7. And Terran players are always ready to dance. When they get a Reaper out, they need to be able to use their feet. They need to be shoveling back and forth. So if you're a serious Terran player, you gotta sleep with your shoes on, with your dancing shoes, that is. Maybe even wear your tutu. I'm just saying. Anyway, what if you're a Terran player and a lifeguard? Or a clown? Well, maybe just wear your whistle too, just to be certain. Just to be safe. Starport coming up. Dart Command Center inside of the main base, and apparently Jimmy is going to be aided by the barracks itself. Jimmy and Mark, good job, lads. You have killed Otto the Overlord. Slowly but surely, by the way, over the years, I have named every unit. Every unit in the game gets a name. This has been about a 10-year project of mine. Only a handful get added every year, but we have Hackians. We have the Reaper, man. Reapers don't really... I feel like Reaper's a cool name as it is. We don't really get that many of them. They don't really need a separate name. Jetpack Raiders. We have a lot of alternate names, actually, for pretty much every unit. What do you think would be a good name for a Reaper? Nah, we don't need to. Okay, so. Hatchery. Being turned into a lair right now. Dark is going for a bit of a different expansion pattern. We'll have to keep an eye out on what the exact follow-up is, because he doesn't have a Roach Warren, he doesn't have a Baneling Nest. He doesn't have upgrades. All he has is a very quick lair. I think we're once more looking at some form of a weird strategy here from Dark. What's the plan with this lair? We could go Spire. We could go Nidus. It's Dark, so we could go Swarm Host too. Oh, it's a Nidus. I was gonna say, he doesn't have enough gas mining yet to really go into a Spire. So we're doing a Ling Queen all-in. So what have you possibly seen in this game, Dark, that makes you believe that this is a good strat? He has seen nothing. Dark's just doing whatever. He lost Auto, and he is ready for revenge. All he's seen is a couple of Reapers, couple of Hellions, a depot or two. He doesn't know about the timing of the third CC, although he saw the depot timings, I guess, over here, so he knows that there is very likely going to be one hidden inside of the main base, but this is a big gamble. Now, where are we going to be planting the, Oh, look at this, actually. Kjara's already anticipating this. He realized that something is a bit fishy. He's played against Dark many a time. I think this is where you throw it. Ooh, no, we're throwing it in the main base already. We had Jimmy and Mark from earlier, now joined with their buddies as well, the rest of their squad going in. Although that being said, they're now distracted killing that Nidus Worm. That's six SCVs go down right over here. Nidus Worm follow up inside of the main base. Queens obviously do pop out of this first if you put them in first as well, so he is going to be able to transfuse this. Assuming the Queens actually get out. Oh my god, Cure. Dangerous. Oh my god, he did not quite get it. Brenda decides to quickly poop on the creep. Nice activation of the cloak. Immediate deactivation. That was actually kind of beautiful there from Cure. Well, Brenda had been sitting in that Nidus Worm for a while, okay? She's an old lady. She panicked. And sometimes, you know, you just gotta poop on the creep. It is what it is. I've been told that this is perfectly natural. Well, now we have to transition into something else entirely. Infestation Pit coming up. Dark's gonna have to do something. I mean, he did kill a bunch of SCVs. It's not that much. But when you think about it, he also didn't lose that much. This is something that I'm actually absolute garbage at. When I play a game of StarCraft, I am committed to my pushes, okay? To the point where I actually end up making it way worse for myself. When you think about it here as Dark, you haven't actually lost that much. Like, you've lost, yeah, you killed a couple SCVs, you lost a couple Queens, or a bunch of Zerglings, maybe a couple Nidus Worms, but nothing all too crazy. One Zergling ran out. It's a bit cursed. Anyway, more Lings now running over towards this base. Hive coming up at the same time as a Baneling Nest. And there's Barracks 6, 7, and 8 right now coming up here for our Terran player. So this is now ultimately a 3-base all-in here for Cure. Probably wasn't his original plan, although he does like to mix this in. He doesn't want to play the long macro game here. Baneling Nest is not going to be done anytime soon. Or Baneling Speed, rather. Baneling Nest is now finished, but I mean, how do you kill this? How do you kill this siege tank? I don't think you do. Maybe when 1-1 is done, I think you give up on his hedge, dude. Yeah, I don't think you really need to be holding on to that one. Look at the little Zergling jumpy jump. Ultra Cavern. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, Dark believes that the Ultralisk is going to be the way forward. What do we say to Ultralisks? Not today. Very good. Very good, young Zerg player. Ultralisks are rarely the right choice. Then again, you need to do something, and there is a good chance that Cure is not going to be prepared for it. Keep in mind that Cure is effectively on an all-in. This is a 3-base all-in, and with 3-base Terran, making ghosts is a bit difficult. He's making the Great Wall of Terran over here too. Very beautiful. Making it hard for Baneling Robots to really be a problem. But against like a triple... Like a triple CC all-in, Terran will not be gunning ghosts more often than not. So if you can get your Ultras out, it is technically holdable. Let's see though, those Hellbats are going to be so nice. Couple of Banelings slipping through the cracks. Maybe? Nah, it looked decent for a second there, but ultimately, The advantage of the creep is just so noticeable with those Zerg armies. Queens are going to fall now, although some reinforcing banelings do show up. Okay. Miscontrol! Well, you cannot really afford miscontrols like that. Siege tank is going to fall. More and more queens, though, running low in HP. Yeah, ultimately, there's just not enough here for Dark, so he is forced to tap out. Next up, we find ourselves on El Dorado. Nice game right there from Cure. Dark trying to transition, but that is the price you pay when you go for a committed all-in. You just lose a bunch of time. Like, it wasn't even that he lost a lot of resources and that he was super far behind resources-wise, but you just lose a bunch of time. Okay. We have the dance. Third command center already coming up here for Mr. Cure. Building it right next to that golden wall. Mine out the skinny mineral fields, fly the CC on the low ground. Use it as an orbital command while you're mining out the min. It's a beautiful build. Only problem is if Zerg decided to be aggressive. Oh, jeez. Could you hear that? I almost dropped my footrest. Anyways, the only problem here is that obviously you can run into a few issues, but nothing all too crazy. Oh my god. Is it moving? No, I think it's supposed to be reflection. Sorry, I only just now realized these, like, goblets. What, a diamond is shiny too? Wow, what a beautiful game. These are, by the way, definitely the doubloons from that pirate mission in Heroes of the Storm. 100%. Haven't played Heroes of the Storm in many years, but it's 100% those same doubloons. Okay. Link speed about halfway done. Dark has continued mining gas again, so we have to see what he decides to do with it this time around. There's indeed that orbital command. So this is what I was trying to say. You use the time that it takes to make the orbital command to mine out your little way through the mineral fields. This is what Terran dreams are made of. It isn't even really that much more effective. It just feels really nice. There we go. Okay. Now, Dark has expanded vertically on the map. It seems to me that Cure wants to go for the more aggressive variant. So obviously, if he expands down here at the bottom, he can also push in this direction really easily. We've seen some crazy pushes with the siege tanks behind the golden minerals and then the main army be, well, right ahead of it. You can also build your fourth command center right behind these golden mineral lines and mine it from the quote-unquote wrong side. Benshido going in, trying to see what Zerg is up to. He doesn't really know exactly, although he has seen the hatchery over there. He doesn't really know exactly what the Zerg is building at this point in time. Looks like we're gonna go into a more standard timing on the lair. Still a pretty early one, to be honest, but we are gonna be able to go into the baneling speed at a reasonable time. Oh, and we're actually gonna go straight for the golden base. Okay. Rather than going for the extra gases here, maybe we can mine those a little bit later. We can just take the golden minerals right from the get-go. And what exactly can Zerg do about it? Well, apparently Dark can build a spire. So we're going for what seems to be Mutaling Bane. Expanding away from the Terran here is quite clever. All of those Zerg units are extremely quick. So you effectively make the distance between you and the Terran a lot longer, right? The distance becomes larger, so Mutaling Bane can benefit more of that speed advantage that it has. It's just a bit of a risky build. If Cure decides to go for any sort of aggression anytime soon, it's just difficult to hold. Here come the Cloak Banshees. Mostly just here to be a nuisance. If you could see the spire, that would be massive. You almost saw it. Just barely pulled the Banshees back in time. I mean, I say that as if it's an advantage for Terran, but you really... it would benefit quite a bit from seeing it. Just building a handful of missile turrets could be huge. Now, with this setup, though, of Terran, it is quite difficult for Dark to find a good angle to be engaging from. So he's got some Overlords checking the bottom of the map. But where exactly do you send your Ultralisks first? Do you send them straight to the third? Do you try and send them the long way around and go for the natural first. I think you fly them through the bottom, like so on the minimap, and then into the main base. But with this type of setup here for Cure, his expansions are relatively close together. Oh. We're going for the +1 flyer upgrade too, so Dark is planning to go mass Muta. You never get that if you only want to make one batch of Mutas and then transition away. Yeah, so Dark is indeed going to fly them through the bottom. Fly me to the bottom. There they go. They're looking for SCVs. They're hungry. Is there anything in the main? It's only 7 Ultralisks, which is not a ton, but they can still kill SCVs pretty quick. Nice reaction speed, though, by Cure, who's also busy microing on the other side of the map. He's going to pay the price. This is mostly, though, just to get the map control back. So, Cure has been the one in the driver's seat of this match the entire time. Dark's saying, yo, you got to stay home, buddy. No more moving out on the map. Because as soon as you do, I will hit you in the face. And obviously, when you go mass Muta, you can also just continuously, well, add more into the mix and kill these missile turrets too. So he's purposefully showing only a handful of them right now. 2 reasons. First off, he only, well, could make that many when the Spire finished. But secondly, he's also waited with adding more into the mix until these Mutas are once more in a location where he can add the control group. But also to make the Terran player believe that maybe this is like Mutas into quick lurkers. Or something along those lines. Not the case at all. This is Mutas into Mutas into Mutas. You know what's better than 3 Mutas? 4 Mutas. You know what's better than 20 Mutas? 50 Mutas. That's effectively the build Dark's going for. You just need to leave some supply in the... in storage here, I guess, to keep Lings and Banes going. He's also prioritizing upgrades here. Yeah. Now that he's maxed. Maybe going to a Hive would not be a bad idea. Quick cloaking right there on the benchy. Now, Mutas can be very good, but in maxed out scenarios, you want the fight as Zerg to be over in about 1/4 of a second. Like, the less time it takes to fight, the more explosive your army is going to become. Problem here for Cure, though, is that obviously, well, he needs to be forcing engagement soon. Because he's got a banger of an army right now. He never fired up 2-2. He's going to fall behind the longer that this goes, but as soon as he moves out, the Mutas swoop in. A lot of SCVs are going to pay the price. He's got a large army. This mineral line actually has not been mined out, which is really awkward. Kier could ferry units across, but it would take too much APM. Ay. I think this hesitation here may actually cost him the game. Now Lings and Banes are also rolling up towards the high ground. Dark decides to retreat for now. Orbital Command itself in the main base is in a world of trouble, and now suddenly Cure, you blink twice, he's only at 36 workers. Dark seems like an absolute disaster to play against. When he's in form like this and he's just cruising along, he's so extremely dangerous. Oh. Did he? Wait, what? How did we mine out those? Oh, he brought a couple SCVs. I missed that. I wondered if he used mules for that, but he brought SCVs to try and just mine out those mineral fields, but that has effectively delayed this entire attack from Cure by like, I don't know, 30 to 60 seconds or so. This is still quite a choke point though, so... Oh god, he's just gonna commit? Really? We're just gonna run through and squeeze all of the Banelings through that one mineral field? I mean, it kind of works out, but that was way more expensive than it needed to be. Maybe send a couple of your Lings around the back there instead? Well, Dark has some money to reinforce this. He decides to engage once more. Siege Tank pushed very closely, well, to a lot of those bases of the Zerg. It is gonna get shut down, and now it's only Marines. We have 71 Marines. 71 Marines is a lot. But this is not really an army that you can win the game with. 2-2, by the way, finishing up right now as well for Dark, so his army is only going to get better. Matter of fact, you should wait until those upgrades are done. I think he realizes it now. Perfect moment to attack. He doesn't know if 2-2 is coming for the Terran, but not going to happen in this game. GG. And that means that this series comes down to a Frostline. Final game in this best of 3. Fear the Reaper, man. He's always got his jetpacks. He's always got his guns in hand. Do you think Reapers can walk? Maybe Reapers are unable to walk, dude. Maybe that's why they're specifically selected to become Reapers. Like, maybe 1 in 100 infantrymen becomes a Reaper. Yeah. So maybe this is the guy who just doesn't have functioning legs. Maybe he's a streamer. As a streamer, I've been told many times I don't have legs, and I will not be able to confirm nor deny any of that. I am just a floating head and torso. No, fun fact. Anyway. I would make an excellent Reaper. I would love to fly around with a jetpack. You kidding me? Maybe it's a bit dangerous. Maybe it's just a little bit risky. Ooh, don't. Triple CC build once more here for Cure. Nothing out of the ordinary in that regard. We're gonna go into a tech lab on the barracks. We should see the big switcheroo. What's Dark going to do this time around? Well, we've continued mining gas after the first 100. It will always be for a lair. It could be for something else. A lot of the European Zergs, by the way, are currently favoring that quick roach play. Seems like they're a fan of playing the quick roaches pretty much every time. Dark doesn't seem to go for that very much. Like, he mixes it in from time to time, but he's not really a roach man. Maybe he's got a cat. Cats are really good at killing roaches. So maybe it makes him believe that in a video game it's also no longer a good choice. Not entirely sure though. So we have a lot of gas right now, but nothing that we spend it on. I mean, you could save it up until... No. Okay, we just go for a lair right now at 4.5 minutes. Okay, fair enough. That's actually one side effect I didn't expect when I first got cats. Any sort of critter, like any spider or any creature that lives in my house. I was thinking about that after, maybe like a year or so after we got our first cat. They no longer exist. The cats will get rid of every single one of them. Yeah. I've seen them switch over to full attack mode. If they spot a spider somewhere, oof. They will not rest until the spider is dead. Problem for them is that spiders have a lot of patience. If they sit on a wall, they can sit there for a long time. But they will continuously check. Make sure, if it moves, it's going down. Now, we don't get a lot of critters in the Netherlands. Nothing all too exciting. No roaches over here, at least. Not in my house. But if I had any, I'm sure the cats would get them. Infestation Pit coming up against for Dark. 1-1 here as well. I mean, I say again, this is pretty normal. But for Dark, this is a very fast Infestation Pit. No Hydra then, though. So we'll have to keep an eye out on exactly what the plan is. Yeah, we're once more going Baneling speed. I would imagine this is not going to be Hydras into Lurkers. Banshee's getting a little bit of damage done, but nothing all too exciting. 4 workers, though, is not bad, and obviously he hasn't lost anything yet. Cure building up his economy. Yeah, we have 2 cats. One of them takes his job as a cat very seriously. He inspects every room on a, yeah, probably twice a day basis. He spends a lot of time looking out of the window, keeping track of everybody's comings and goings, any other cats, and he's the one that will take care of all. The other one doesn't do anything. The other one kind of copies the job sometimes, and looks out of the window sometimes, and he kind of hunts a little bit sometimes, but Milo is the one who's really, he's pretending like he's got a job. He's the only one with a real job around here. Not me, not Loran. Definitely not Toby. Milo probably also believes that I do a terrible job. Yeah, he probably does not believe I do a very good job at keeping anything safe. I spend 0 time looking out of the window. Well, you know what? He's not wrong. Okay, big attack coming up from Cure. We do have, by the way, Burrow here for Dark, which is a curious thing. If you can get a kill on this base, that would be massive. But once more, Baneling speed has finished up. And you know what? This is kind of interesting. This is what was always the most normal build for Zerg to play. This is like the go-to strategy for Zerg for years. They nerfed the Baneling, so the Baneling has less HP. And that kind of sparked the Zerg players to explore different strats. And they have been coming up with a wide variety of builds ever since. But this is Dark effectively just going for the good old. And a lot of those Terran attacks are good against the more modern style. But it turns out that, well, once more, StarCraft strategies are mostly just circular, apparently. Everything counters everything else. Ultra Cavern, though, is a very dangerous choice by Dark. Cure is doubling down. He does have 8 Rex again on 3 bases. So we are going for effectively a complete all-in. He's afforded the +2 infantry attacks. So Dark can lose one of the bases. He cannot lose 2. Okay, he's mostly giving up on this expansion, it seems. Yeah. Already evacuating drones away. Kills a Banshee in the top section of the map. Maybe building a Spore Crawler over there would be good. Zerglings, though, aiming for an opportunity. Forced to pick up in that Medevac. Medevac's going to the main base. Already, those Spore Crawlers are waiting right around the corner. Once more, we have some Ling Bane run-bys. I'm getting some deja vu from some of the previous games we've seen. Very similar to what Dark has been doing already. So this is now a very long, drawn-out all-in here from Cure. And the longer this goes, the worse it's going to become for him. Because now Ultras are coming. And I think Ultras, jokes aside, across the game, they're kind of garbage. Like, they're not a very good unit. Mostly because they have a lot of counters. There's a lot of things that Terran can do to get rid of the Ultra. But in this instance, Cure is setting himself up for just Marines and Medevacs. Maybe a few Siege Tanks, maybe a couple Marauders, something like that. And Ultras are phenomenal in that spot. They suck against... Oh, Queen, what are you doing? Queen... Brenda. Okay, well, you know what? I'll leave you guys alone. Oh, another big circling run by. Oh, Dark's relentless with those. There's a lot of counters. You can go Liberators, Ghosts. You can do a million different things to try and get rid of those Ultras. But when you go for a 3cc all-in, you just don't have any of those opportunities. Dark sending even more Lings across. We don't even have a liftoff on that command center. And before... Oh my god. That just went from 0 to 100 real quick. Before Cure even engaged in the top left-hand corner. Before the Ultra could even spring into motion. He was just being inspected very closely by Brenda. Well, he already had to leave the game.